Majestix Podcast. I am your host, Chase, and with me, as always, the co-host, Patrick.
Hello. Oh, wait, that's me. What's up?
Yeah. Well, that leads us into our special guest of the day. He is the Phoenix Next founder and captain. He is a Clicks historian. He is part of the Starting Over podcast host and the 2018 Tulsa Regional Champion, Edward Dark Logos, Shelton.
Yay. Thank you for being here. I feel
thank you for being here.
Thanks. Hey, you're welcome.
It's 11 p.m. where I'm at, people.
That's awesome. See, that's
but
awesome. That's a title right there. Thank you.
I feel good being here because, like I tell people, I'm like a virus. It's like once you think your favorite podcast doesn't have a little bit of me in there, then I get on your podcast. Yeah. But this is definitely one of the more premier meta podcasts. So I'm glad to be here. This
is the Meta Podcast. Don't even act like this.
Sorry. Let me phrase this: competitive. Competitive.
About to be triggered right there.
Yeah, I'm in somebody else's house right now. I'll try to refuse my language.
So how was your flight, dude? I know you had to go from Alabama to Atlanta to Missouri.
Yeah,
right? You're Missouri.
Yeah, pretty much like to Kansas City, and that's. I think it was like 6 hours, and I had like my holdover in Atlanta. I was just like, I'm going to eat and then look at my phone for a while. So that's pretty much what I did. And then I passed out on the flight from Atlanta to KC. So yeah, that's pretty much my trip. If I could have just passed out and been from Atlanta to KC, it would have been fine. But yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things we were talking about, the flight patterns of having to get there to Huntsville. It's kind of tough.
Well, that's what made it so expensive. Because you don't get anything direct down there.
Yeah.
Oh man, I know this isn't the money podcast, but without there being money in rock, oh buddy, like there has to be some consideration on pricing because. You're going to have to get swagged out like it's a world championship tournament for it to be worth it. And I think Pat and I, we were talking in the airport, and I said, like, look, if you could set it up where it's like, what's that one show with Wayne Brady, the game show?
Whose line is it?
No, not Whose Line, the game show.
Let's make a deal.
Let's make a deal. If you did Let's Make a Deal, and hell, I'll be Wayne Brady for you. It's like you can have this future factory set of an unreleased Heroclix product.
That'll be kind of cool.
Or we can buy it off of you for $1,000.
Yeah.
What are you going to say? And then you still get the rest of your pricing, but you have a choice of getting this future set. But note, you're going to sign this NDA saying that you cannot sell it. If not, we will sue the fire out of you.
Yeah.
You'll get people there. There.
Connellys aren't enough anymore, right? Because they just give it out like candy now.
Yeah, the cost open. The value of Connellys are going to go down. Even if Wizkids decided not to be booty. And again, I'm neutral now, Wizkids, but I'm smart on the business game with y'all, with the con in your store stuff. So I'm smart on your business game. So let's just say they gave us current year LEs. All right, they would start giving us current year LEs around what? At earliest August and September, which means the earlier part of the year we would have last year's LEs. Ooh. The market's already flooded.
To be the other way. They would have to change the start for we'd have to have the Con LEs. Let's say this is the 29. So you'd have to have 2020.
Before the cons?
They're never doing
that. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, they do it for the championships. I could see them doing that.
Yeah.
Well, and even more so, there was something else that becomes worse that we have to talk about as well. It's like, look, with Worlds being where it's at, and now Rock is partnered with Wizkids, and now it's a conversation of, does Rock Worlds move to March? Because that's the only time where it does not have a major schedule conflict, because August doesn't work.
Yeah,
it's too close after US Nats, and you go into September, and that's sort of okay. But you're just barely getting your vacation time back, and you got back to school, and then you can't do You can't do, let's just say you do stay in October. Now with no money, you're competing against Worlds where I can go get whatever new exclusive is, sell to Americans and make my money.
But you're forgetting one thing though. You're not competing with Worlds because the ROCCUP is a qualifier for Worlds.
It is a qualifier for Worlds.
So it's not really competing, it's feeding into it.
It's supposed to, but we all know about time and everything else. Like,
you're not saying it's not competing at a level of relevancy. You're competing at a level of time and getting there.
Bingo.
Using up.
Yeah, but it's not. This isn't different than how it was before with nationals and worlds.
It's way different because back then we only had 2 major tournaments, and now we have functionally 3, 4. And you're trying, and you have 2 organizations working together, and we have our internal community complaints that have exacerbated the situation.
Oh, yeah, I want to get into all that too.
Yeah. This is not my show. I know, Rabbit Trail people.
That's how this show works.
That's how it was. No, but I was listening to your. That's funny because I was listening to your podcast, and you were talking about all the. It's weird because I was talking to Aries, talking to Kenny, and you guys all basically said the same thing. Makes me wonder if I was talking to just the same person the whole time. But it's Aries wants to write an article, but he's like, there's a lot of things that he needs to cover, and not all of them are going to be positive. Right. One of the main ones I think was, and it even spilled out into today's article when Dan wrote his report, was I guess throwing of games, like people have been like thrown around.
Yeah. And let's get into this. All right. We, as much of bracketologists as we are, we know how this game is, and we know how accusations can go.
Mm-hmm.
And I said in starting over podcast is, I understand why people would accuse Dan of having an easy time through that. Maybe his boys threw games. And then I would say,
do you really think that? No, just real quick, do you think that happened?
No.
Okay.
And then,
I don't either.
I don't think that happened, but I want to make it clear.
Yeah.
The argument is very, very sound in speculation because Gosselman should have beat Dan in the first round of top 32 purely based off of the matchup. Now, I can argue this. I know Gosselman, and he's a balls to the wall type of guy. I know Lane from experience. He's also an aggressive guy. Okay. So I can understand Lane haymakering to try to get the win. Okay. I understand that. All right. But the problem with Gosselman that keeps bugging me is there should be no point in time a Walking Wood should ever base you. True. And if it does, I'm sorry. What the hell went wrong? Because it's sort of like what Kenny brought up. You have phasing and stealth. And a Walking Wood at most can move 6 squares in a turn, unless you're going to waste a Star Fox Perplex, which is completely waste of a Star Fox Perplex. So again, like, what happened? Because that is the one matchup that Cosmic Starro should lose against, which is Goblin King. And you can say, well, look, I got these magical pulse waves off and this, that, and the other. And then I would have to ask is, where were the Walking Woods during this period of time of the conversation? If you said there's like 40 attacks and he heals and all this other stuff, it's one of those matches in which I believe you because I don't have a character reason not to believe you. Okay, for both people in the parties. But if I took the names out and someone told me this matchup went this way, I would say BS. There's no way that matchup goes this way unless one is unskilled. And then I know Gosselman, he has enough rankings that he's not unskilled. You can make the argument that Gosselman was playing this at the last minute. okay, and that he didn't get enough practice. That's a legitimate argument.
He already said that he didn't. He already said that he played it, and him and Dan played it a bunch. And Dan even switched teams to learn how to play and stuff like that. And the only other thing too that Gosselman said that's interesting too is that he said that he was leaving anyway after that round.
Yeah, and I mean, in the other element that grabs me is it's like, okay, if you hear Dan say like he told Gosman not to play that build, that adds into the, oh crap, are you leading your guys towards a situation that benefits you? Again, I'm not making accusations. It's the problem is I've talked to enough people.
Yeah, so basically what it is the optics of it all.
Yes.
Like
the optics of it and of it all is bad, and the PR of it all is bad.
And then in the world of where we live, in the day and age we live in now, the internet, perception is reality. So then that becomes the truth, right? Even though it's probably not, but yeah, sure. Because it went crazy. Did you read that? Did you read that thread on our page where Kenny basically went like line by line what the matchup happened, and he was just questioning what was happening?
No, I didn't get. I got a text from KJ.
Oh, man, today. It was he went in pretty hard on that on the. It was long, and he just went back and forth. It was like 40, 50 comments.
Yeah, because I got the text from KJ, and pretty much it was Kenny was asking, how did this matchup happen? Right. And the worst thing comes in is Dan's going to Worlds. Mm-hmm. The last thing you want is for everybody at Worlds to think you're a cheat. And the last thing you want at Worlds is if you see two people with a Clickstop shirt sitting from across from each other, that they think there's colluding.
Oh, man. Where have I heard that before?
Yeah, well, hey, man. We could have Kevin on the show and have a conversation.
Yeah, I know, right? We experienced that, dude.
But here's the bigger problem that kicks in. If that becomes a thing, the next step in the crazy mob is everybody on teams collude.
Yeah.
And I tell folks like Phoenix Nest, I have and I don't, y'all allow cussing on the show, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I don't cuss that much, but Wes is the one that invented the phrase. It's called zero fucks given.
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't matter if a senior member plays a new member. You play. If whoever loses, loses. But you don't throw the game.
You live it out to the end of the world like a doctor.
Yeah, you go out hard. If you didn't win, that was on you. Okay. You don't be like, hey man, you gotta throw the game. No, it's like it's zero fucks given. And if an older member gets beat by a new member or vice versa, get your big boy pants on and roll. But that's the problem, is we've known that Dan has prize split with people. And so all that prize splitting does not roll well, like when this comes up. So that's like the catch-22 of prize splitting. I'm not anti-prize splitting, but I see, like, if someone's building a case, the case is not good for Dan. And the only thing that he has is a character history. And if you don't know Dan, and you don't know Click's community, and you're just coming into this, it's automatically, I believe he's a cheater. And I believe that Clickstop is colluders.
Okay, but here's the next question. Does it matter? Should they care?
It does matter.
If most people know them, and like I don't think, I'm not ready to call anybody a cheater. I wasn't there. There's no way that I'm ever willing to call somebody a cheater if I'm not there and I didn't see it and I don't understand.
I actually watched the game, and I watched for a few minutes, and Dave's Goblin King was surrounded by it was surrounded by the Walking Woods, Star Fox, everything. And for some grace of God, David rolled probably like 3 or 4 shape changes in a row from flurries. So he just either rolling imperv or I think that's how it got so high, because, and even Dan made a comment and was like, Yeah, every time you're around, Dave seems to roll well. You know, kind of like, hey man, get out of here.
Well, yeah, but see, like Goblin King has 3 outs at minimum.
And then on top of that, he nightmare tokens you, so he's even harder to hit.
And he did say he said in that thread that he was picking like super senses imperv.
Yeah,
and
you get super senses from the map on 6. You can pick imperv and you get shape change.
Because he had the symbiote.
Yeah, and then it gets worse. It gets worse because the super senses is there on the 6 anyway from the map selection. You can pick imperv and combat reflexes.
Which map? What do you think?
I don't know what map you pick. One of the new location maps. You pay 5
super senses.
It gives you super senses on 6.
On 6, but he wasn't get. But he didn't. I can't. Did he get map? I can't imagine him winning.
No, he didn't.
No. You get it as an alternative.
They were on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They were on Bifrost.
Yeah. So like, if you go down to how stupid this is, okay. So you got super senses on 6. You can pick imperv. You're going to have shape change, and you also can pick combat reflexes. Plus, you're giving nightmare tokens.
Tough. Those are tough hits.
I'm just saying is this. I said it should be Goblin King wins this.
Now I did. Didn't they say also that he like towards the end or something like that he started crit hitting like 3 times in a row or something like that? Probably.
I mean, if you're attacking that many times, you're gonna hit something, right?
I know there was another comment in the thread saying something about some crit hits, like a large amount. But I mean, actually, at the roll of, I mean, not at averages, but still, yeah. When you're gonna roll 40 times or try to roll 40 times,
yeah, you're gonna hit at least one.
You're gonna So I know he hit a few, and I think there was a comment saying that's kind of what gave him the chance.
Yeah, I mean, there's no super senses, and you're doing extra damage.
Yeah, you still have if you got to the point of roll, you got him past shape change. So the only thing that you have is imperv roll.
Right.
That's if you've picked imperv or you have it or whatever else.
Or you have it, yeah. He gets it after like a couple.
Yeah. So like at some point in time, like I said, it goes full stupid about how strong Goblin King can be, and I know this because like the night before finals, we were doing practices in the hotel room against Goblin King.
They were cramming for the exam.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, and even this, we were doing practices against Goblin King. We finished the practices. I stayed up an additional hour to practice against Goblin King. Okay, just to try to figure out what my team could do against it. That's why I look at that matchup. I'm like, no one has an easy day if the Goblin King resolves just to chill, and then at last round kill something.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that. I mean, so what do you think of the lane match?
The lane matchup, like I said, is I understand Lane's personality, but if you don't know these people,
right,
it looks bad. And I think when I was talking to you in the hotel, I was like, dude, you need at some point in time, it's going to end up happening that you're going to have to faction tag. You're like, these guys are Majestix, these guys are Phoenix Nest, these guys are clicked off. So you don't have necessarily active judging, but the judge is like watching the games when it's same faction against same faction. Like,
that's tough because there's so many of that going on. There's only so many of us, you know?
Right. In smaller events,
especially
it's not
with like
so much
Phoenix
of a
Nest
thing.
And click stuff, whatever. You guys have like 20 guys on each side.
Oh,
like
okay.
the Warriors.
Hold on, wait. I shrunk by 1 member because of the rules of the team. So I shrunk 19. By 1. So we're 15. We're 15.
See, it's not that far.
Clicksman is like 20 something.
That's what I'm saying. That's crazy. Well, they also merged with like 2 other teams.
Is that even a team at that point? That's a group.
It's a game.
That's a
Hey, we're not the largest team.
We're
not the smallest.
We're just missing the.
You got a team and some groupies. Is more what it sounds like.
Come on, play like that. You know.
Hold on. Is that going to be the title of the episode? Phoenix Nest, come out.
Yeah. Dude.
No, but as long as I survive to the end of the night, and we're all good. But I mean, that's part of the thing. I feel like it's been the biggest positive for the game is teams.
Yeah,
Is that
sure.
teams allow this game to be inexpensive. You can invest in some things to help out the team. Huh?
Pool figures together.
Pool figures, pool hotel. Because good gosh, I booked the Philly hotel this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. So if you want to be close to the event, you are paying upwards of $150 per night to $330 a night.
Whoa.
And the hotel we got is okay. And I felt like, yay, thank you, Google, for saving me money. But I was on Travelocity for a good hour and a half. And if I was going to spend like $80 a night, I was at least 30 to 45 minutes away.
So how far are you guys from the venue?
8 blocks walking.
Oh, that's good. And it's like 100 something a night.
Oh gosh, it's like $150 a night.
It's because it's packed, so everybody's there.
No, it's because it's Philadelphia after Thanksgiving. Like, that's really what it is. This is the worst time for the event ever. And I know they're like, yay, man, we're really good friends with PAX. And PAX scheduled this time right here. PAX is a bunch of stupid people. I'm sorry. They should have just put this at the beginning of November. And this is why I know this. If I booked that same hotel today, do you know how much I would pay? You want to know how much I would pay? I would be paying $90. The same hotel I'm going to be in at PAX. Mm-hmm. And if last minute, no pre-order, nothing, I would pay $50 less a night. All the other hotels I was telling you, like $200 something, $300 something, they go down by half.
How much is PAX?
Huh?
How much was PAX?
For my badge?
Entry, badge.
I think I got like something like $60. I have to check.
Is it a day? That's for the weekend?
3 days. Yeah, I got the whole event pass because you didn't
know. Not bad at all.
You didn't know.
No, I went to KublaCon, and that's nothing compared to PAX up in San Francisco. No one's even heard of it, and that was $80 for the weekend.
Oh, San Francisco, dude.
Let me verify.
Of course.
But because I bought my badge like as soon as they were like, we're at PAX, I'm like, and they opened up the day one you could buy badges. I was buying badges.
Why aren't you ever do you ever apply for media passes? I get them sometimes.
No, I haven't, because I'm waiting for the day the guy's like, who the hell are you? Get out of here.
Right. Once they give it to you, dude, all you do is apply. As long as you apply early enough, you can usually get in as media. You just tell them you're gonna do interviews. That's cool. Truthfully, that's what you do. I've gotten into Gen Con twice with that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Repop is okay. So PAX Unplugged. Yeah, I paid $69.
That's actually not bad. That's a
3-day pass is $65. $3.25 sales tax. 75.
75.
I don't know. I know Gen Con and Origins like 50. Origins is 50 if you get a full week pass.
That's really only $50. I could have sworn it's more, but I guess I haven't been paying for the last few years, so I don't know. Hey man, it helps to know the boss monster guy.
I guess.
I mean, he's the one. He plays clicks, but he the company Brotherwise Games. Those are my friends. So they used to come to the store. So whenever I go, they always like. He's always like, if you're going to go, I'll have badges for you. And they're like exhibitor badges. So we're there like hour before everyone.
Yeah. 2016, my badge was $55 for Origins. So that's the easiest one for me to find. So yeah, like the cost of the con, I think that's the only thing that's really going for Rock. And Howard knows this, like, you don't have to pay for a con badge.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as much as I love Howard, Huntsville is not a good location. It's just not. Like, you're better off saying, hell, go to Vegas. Ooh. Everybody can get a cheap flight to Vegas.
Damn. Don't get me all excited. Oh, wait. Nobody shows up there, so it doesn't matter.
Well, no. Okay, we've already talked about that. And I've said it honestly. If I give you an event in your backyard and you don't show up, I don't have to care about you anymore from a business perspective. So if the Vegas guys are like, oh, why don't we have anything? Why don't y'all stop, being pissy and show up to events? Stop being pissy. Like that's all you have to do. Like, I go to Tulsa because there's events. I'll go to Omaha because there's events. It's not always the events that I want it to be, but I'll go. Mm-hmm. But if you have the mighty 30 players or whatever in your area and you could support an event by yourself, there's no reason why you shouldn't have a WKO. I should be able to look into your win results and see 30 players at an event. But if you have so many bad internal politics that you can't get all your people in one space because y'all have so much, I hate you, I don't like you, our clique is better than your clique, then functionally you're not an area. That's not something that you can leverage for an event. Unless you can leverage manpower, you do not have something that you can have an event at. But that's my 2 cents on that.
So Majestix Invitational 2019 in Vegas. Pat.
No, we're gonna do it at the Marriott. Remember I told you.
I know.
We have a host already.
But as my friend has told me for the past 2 weeks about going to Vegas, every time we say if we're going somewhere else, he goes, "But it's Vegas."
Yeah, I gotta be honest.
Nobody goes.
I gotta be honest. Like if Rock was in Vegas, or Rock was at some other place, like Texas, and we had that everybody get up, go from the hotel, roll downstairs, play Clicks.
Well, that's what this Marriott would be for us.
Yeah, I would be down for that. Like I would be down for that.
Pasadena's nice too, man.
Hmm?
Pasadena's nice too. Big Bang Theory.
Hey.
Pasadena's really nice.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it's gonna be.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if we go to Pasadena, it's the nicest place you've ever played Clicks.
As long as I don't have to deal with San Francisco. As long as I don't deal with San Francisco, I'm good.
Pasadena's nice, man. As long as my guy doesn't quit working in the next year, we're good. So, but it's pretty chill. Yeah. He was like, because he works like the graveyard shift, and he's always telling. So he told me, he's like, hey, if you ever want to do like a midnight release, we can do it. And because no one's there, it's him and the security guard. But and he's like, if I tell my boss ahead of time, then I can let people in the ballroom, and we can do a midnight thing for the next set. So
that sounds great.
Cool, huh?
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty cool. But also it lets you know if someone disappears at night, Pat's the person that has the connections.
Oh yeah. For sure. I mean, they're gonna. He said they've done it before when they've done other like D&D or whatever, because a lot of times D&D they need a place to play. So they're like, you can come, but it's got to be after 11. They don't care. Yeah, sure, we'll be there.
It's like as the clock struck midnight.
Yeah, I know. Other things that were going on there, because this is basically the Rock Fallout. Were you around for the Edwin and Lane thing?
Oh yes,
Were you there?
I was finishing up I was finishing up my match against Jalen. Uh-huh. And we were calling and asking about the ruling on Unimine, and I saw that, and he was like, "Okay, I let the dice go. I'm rolling flurry. One dice fell, and then all this arguments." And this is the thing that I sort of come back to is you have nothing but your name in this game. You have nothing but your name.
Right.
And so if somebody wanted to start making cases against Clickstoff or against Lane, they can start doing that because everybody has a long memory when it comes to your mistakes. Everybody has a long memory when it comes to mistakes. Yeah. That's one of the main reasons. Like if I mess up on stream, I'm like, I don't know if I'm right, but if I'm not right, I'm sorry ahead of time. Like I will preemptively say stuff if I know my voice is on stream, and I'm like, I don't know about this ruling, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But
are you talking about when you tried to Hawkeye his starting zone, Tyler's starting zone?
No.
It was funny on stream. It's funny because you were trying to running shot, and then you realize it, and then you're running shot backwards with Hawkeye, and we're like, oh, figure it out.
No, he told me he had first turn immunity, and I was like, well, you know, I'm on autopilot, and I'm about to get, because I knew I was about to get whaled.
Yeah,
that
was good.
So and my main concern was like how the starting area thing was, because I've never had it done that way. So, but going back to the Lane and the other guy, the big problem comes in is, when do we forgive Lane for Jack Frost? When does that roll off his back? Okay, all right, that's one thing. The next thing that comes in is, with this like complaint, I understand everybody's playing for money and we're all super serial right now. It's like Captain Crunch super serial. Okay. But here's the issue. What does that look like, the image of your team afterward? And I say this having to deal with my own little micro controversy, is Wes with the freaking Wes Griffin with the map freaking incident. Okay. What? Where people thought he was flipping people off when he got second 2 years ago. Yeah, it's minor.
Wes Griffin?
Wes Griffin. So Wes Griffin got second at a Tulsa Super Q.
Okay.
He lost to Dustin, and he was a little salty. But he was holding a bunch of figures and cards, and he was holding up the map. Well, the cards are back behind his hand, and pretty much there's the map and there's cards and there's figures. So when you see him holding it all really awkwardly, it looks like he's flipping people off. So
who cares?
Yeah,
that didn't even register, so not a big deal.
No, but there was feedback, and folks were hounding him, and folks were talking to James Manos and talking to Howard. So I was like,
whatever.
I went to where it went up. I was like, look, we're sorry. This is what happened. We apologize. Won't ever happen again. I squashed that.
90% of it too is, why the hell would they even post that picture if they thought he was doing that?
You know what? If Wes, you're listening, keep doing it.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
They need to learn to have some thick skin. Damn it.
Dear Lord, no. We're in the age of the millennial.
Wes will do it because Wes is my boy.
Yeah, I know, but I gotta no. No.
Yo, no.
Oh man, I got enough problems. But still, that rolled away. Why? Tackled it, dealt with it, it's done. Never happening again. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I gotta be honest, like, Dan is a gung-ho leader, but he is not a people person. He's not a people person. He's not a politics person. And so that you don't see certain things or certain behaviors as bad if you're like, I'm a engineering problem solving type person. But if you're like a people politic person, then you're like, oh, okay, you can't do this. Like, you're going to have to eat this. And that's the thing I think that comes off and becomes a problem is, all right, if you say to Lane with this whole dice thing, shut up and eat it. Okay. Your name is bad. This isn't helping your name be better. Shut up and eat it and roll on. Okay. And then it's over. And then it still comes out like, all right, it's in his favor anyway. Whatever the judge decides. It was going to be whatever the judge decides anyway. There's no reason to get big and puffy.
It went to the roll off. Like, we had to, because they just couldn't agree. So we just said, you guys have to roll.
Right. And so then you have a he said, she said. And then if somebody brought up about, look at either of those guys, Lane or the other guy. And it's like, look, that guy's a cheater. You got to watch him because whatever you do, he might not understand it completely. That stuff follows you. And again, with that situation, if I was there to tell Lane, like, yo, just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
It's just better let it go. And this is me giving him the benefit of the doubt of he was going to make an attack or a roll or whatever else.
Right.
Die slipped out. The two people didn't understand what was going on. And then one interpreted the one die falling out as one thing, and the other one interpreted the die falling out as the other. And
you know what? Here's you know what I think the big thing is. There was a 6 that was rolled, so that might have changed whoever it benefited. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because if it was a 2 or 3, it's like, okay, whatever. But since it's a 6, it might have mattered.
Yeah, but if it's a roll anyway, if one die falls, you would still have to re-roll both dies.
What it was?
No, but it's like it's one of those. It was a single die roll type thing, not an attack roll or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
So let's say it did fall, and then let's say a 6 popped up, and then you say, well, no, that was my whatever, and the guy says, no, that's not, and then now we're in a thing.
Yeah.
So I think that might have played a part, but that's just, it's just me after listening to them talk. I don't know what exactly happened, but they just couldn't agree on what the actual action that was happening. So yeah, it get contentious, but luckily in the end they hugged it out.
Yeah, but this is like the element I come back to is if you were constantly in these situations, then it starts creating a pattern, and then this case gets built up against you, where eventually it will cost you, even if you're right.
It's the whole first time. It's a first time. It's luck. Or whatever. Second time a coincidence. The third time is a pattern.
It's a pattern, yeah. And unfortunately for Lane, if he has anything else happen, he's a 3 striker. And there's another guy on another team that I know of, which will go unnamed.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
we can't do that on this podcast. This is starting over.
I gotta space ghost him a little bit because. All I can say is this cat, he had some drama at Nats where he tried to short click. And then...
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking... I don't know. I mean...
there's drama. This cat tried to short click.
So what do you think now after... Because he was there.
Well, no. And here's the problem is that you get reports back from other folks that play with him. It's like, yo... I gotta watch that dude. So, like, do you want to have that be attached to you? Do you want that attached to your group? And that's a serious problem. Like, do you say like, hey man, you're getting such a bad reputation, like we gotta kick you out to maintain the reputation of the group, or else folks just won't deal with us. Yeah, I mean the worst thing. I don't
play anymore. Whew.
Yeah, I mean the only thing worse that you can get accused of in Heroclix than cheating is stealing. That's the only thing worse that someone can accuse you of.
Yeah, no, that's true. Stealing is
that's big.
Because in all of this, how often this stuff is actually, you know what I mean? Because it's like we said, it's the internet. It's this these things come out after Dan's article and stuff like that, with him talking and all the teammates, and nobody's saying like, all right, his team get all this far, they're gonna have to play each other. Is these accusations gonna come up either way?
No, the accusations happened as soon as they were going on. Like I was at Rocktober, and the conversation was, Dan played David Gosselman. How did David Gosselman lose? Then it was Dan played Wales, I think.
Yeah.
Dan played Wales, and then it was like, okay, this is up in the air, and then he wins on a super senses or something like that. So I sort of watched that one a little bit, and it was a little heated. So I was like, all right, well, it's pretty clear that no one threw anything there. Okay, Dan plays somebody else.
Top 8 was Easton.
Okay. I wasn't even around watching that. I had my own stuff I was dealing with. And then he played Lane. And then there's the drama with Lane. So like in between all of that, I'm chilling and I'm hearing people yip yapping and talking about what's going on, and it gets worse as the event is going on. So this isn't like a situation where folks were being quiet and then it hit the internet Monday. Like, no, folks were talking about it as it was happening.
Hey, so did you think like because you said people were talking, like, from what I got from the weekend, I thought it was pretty smooth. Like there was a couple hiccups, which is natural because it's high level and as it gets closer. But so you're saying that you've been just hearing it like basically throughout the whole weekend?
Well, no. On Sunday, while that was
only
going
Sunday.
down.
Okay.
On Sunday, no. The money thing, I've been hearing it all weekend because I've had the moment the money thing was announced, I've had multiple conversations.
Can you transfer points?
Oh gosh. Heroclix players, please. Heroclix players. Like, I'm sorry, those are going to be the memes for 2018 Rock. But
yeah, I know, right?
But then the next question I ask you is this: if Dan wasn't winning so much, because Dan has now turned into with how much he's winning, you start wanting him to lose and see other people start winning. It happens in every sport, whatever. If it's not your team, then you don't really care, and then you get sick of it. Like, everyone was really excited when Steph and the Warriors win, and now they're like, if they win another freaking championship, nobody wants to hear it.
Until you have somebody on the internet telling you to rip your face off and kill yourself, he has not made it yet.
Hold on, wait.
Because that's
Did you read "Some and Blow Your Face Off"?
No, when I won in 2014, those were the comments on YouTube and he should be ashamed because I was playing Iron Pharaoh, like a dirty team, and you should be ashamed for playing this bullshit out there. You should rip your face off and kill. Rip your face off and kill yourself.
Here's the thing, though. The grand separations happen. You don't have to deal with the realm trolls.
Yeah, that's
true.
And
the problem is you're dealing with something worse. You're getting judged by your peers, not the quote unquote filthy casuals that don't know meta or competitive.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, but you're getting judged by your peers.
But this goes back to what I'm saying, though. There's a point where I'm going to tell you right now that nobody wanted Dan to win, other than maybe a couple of close people. I'm sure that nobody wanted. Well, just in general, nobody. Okay, how about this? When I played him in Colorado, everybody was like on the stream, like, "Come on, Chase, beat him." Nobody, half the people probably didn't even know who I was. And they say Slate and whatever, and it's like beat Dan because it's more, and it's teasing and it's fun and stuff like that. But in the back of their head, that's part of what they're thinking. So when Dan starts winning these again, I don't think anybody brings this up had Dan not won a bunch of stuff already.
I think the problem comes is prize splitting. Like, let's be honest. Let's call it as it is. If I say, look, it is more beneficial for me to prize split this out where you get 80% of the prizes and I get the win and I keep my name out there as number one, then that becomes an issue because and this is the problem. And when you come back to this moment, which is one of the main reasons why I say I'm on the fence on prize splitting, because I understand it for time or the weather gets bad or whatever else. But if I get reports back that Dan prize split at blank and he gets the win and then the other person gets the other thing.
Did you think that happened?
That's a problem.
What do you think? Do you think that happened?
No, I do not think Dan prize split at Rock. I do not think Dan prize split at Rock. But like I said is, when you have a history of doing things that you think no one's paying attention, but people are, it does not give you a good case for your character later on if something shady happens. And if people say, like, look, Dan prize splits or anything like that, then it becomes an issue. Now, I can tell you this. There are a lot of other more dominant names in Heroclix that prize split. And I've had conversations with them. It happens a lot more than you think. But the problem comes in is if that name gets out that, oh, that person has prize split before, then your whole entire record comes into question.
Yeah, because you know what? That's so weird that you said. This is what I'm saying about Heroclix being so backed. It's like so not cut up, because there's prize splitting in every game that I've ever played in. It's in the rules that says you cannot collude, but you can prize split. There's
right.
Right,
like I said, but again, let's ask ourselves this: if you went through Dan's wins and you said, "Hey, how many of these wins are prize split? And the moment I say it's like, hey, Dan prize split. How many of these are he got the win and the other opponent got the stuff? And then now you start looking at his record and you're like, well, man, how many of these wins is he as good of a player as he's supposed to be? Is he overhyped? All this other stuff. And again, I'm not detracting from his work. I'm not detracting from him being a champion. He is our 2017 and 2018 Rock champion. But I'm going to say this, he set up a bad PR situation. And if he was smart going into 2019, what he would say is, no matter what, I play it out. No matter if it inconveniences me, unless it costs me my life, I play it out. And if I'm going to prize split, I prize split down where I get the loss.
This is what I think with this thing. And Chase makes a good point here. And this happens in anything. If you win that much and you're that dominant, that good, whatever, it doesn't matter what's going to happen. People are going to find something wrong with whatever you're doing. So if it's not that, it's gonna be something else. It's gonna be the team. It's gonna be how he's like aggressive, whatever. Whatever it is. But either way, I think the bottom line is he's just too good. I don't know. Too good. I know some people are not gonna like me saying that, but yeah, maybe he's just too good, and that's why people want him to,
But again, like I said, is when you start finding places to vilify people. And then all of a sudden, it's like, well, he probably prize split at least 4 games, four out of his super Qs. Boom. All of a sudden, is he really that good?
Yeah, but the other thing, too, is this talk will happen for another week and no one's going to say anything. It's going to go down to a lull season and, we'll get into Worlds and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't see it. I don't think with prize splitting and stuff like that, I don't think it's really going to come up. I don't think until they can actually prove anything.
There's a difference. Prize splitting and colluding are different.
Prize splitting and colluding or somebody throwing in games is different. Yeah, and this is what I will say is the biggest problem that Clickstoff will have to deal with, and that he's going to have to publicly address is he's going to have to say a policy for all his players. Look, and this is me giving you free PR, Dan, because I like you. Number one, he says blatantly and honestly, I did not collude, nor have I ever told my guys to throw me a game on the way to being a champion. Ever. No game, no nothing at any point in time have I ever told my guys to throw a game for me. Number two, I am not prize splitting anymore. If you think that I'm not that good, you're going to have to prove that I'm not that good. I've done stuff because of being nice and because of time, and I need to get the hell home. But if folks are going to talk smack, I will prove to them why I'm a 2-time back-to-back champion. Okay, that's number two. Number three, I have a 0 cheating policy for my team. If one of my team members are found to be directly provable cheating, I will eject them from my team. You clean all of your house stuff right there. So you get rid of any problem with lane. You get any problems that may come up with anybody else. And you're just like, that's it. If you want to say anything else, come at me, bro. I'll be at Worlds. Drop mic and be done. That's all he has to do.
I don't know. The cheating thing that's the only reason I say that is now everyone's going to be looking at, oh, did Lane soft cheated this, or this person do this, or did you do this? Because if you listen to the last 2 or the episodes of Paris and stuff like that, what's soft cheating, which is cheating, whatever.
And again, like, all right, like
gamesmanship.
Okay, we all know as commentators, semis and finals, everybody's a little clicks drunk. Everybody's a little clicks drunk. All right. So if someone's like, hey man, did you make that? You made a bad play, and I saw you on stream earlier in preliminaries, and you didn't make you weren't playing that sloppy. You're clicks drunk when you get to, that far into the day, and so I'm a lot more lenient. And that's also what makes those semifinals and finals games more interesting.
Wait, are you talking about from a judge's perspective?
From a observer's perspective.
Okay, I was like, from a judge's perspective, absolutely cannot do that.
No, not from a rules. No. I'm saying if I'm looking at someone play,
right,
and I'm like, okay, I understand why you're making mistakes because you're tired. The judge should still come back in and with the rules say like, oh no, like that's a mistake. And I feel everybody else should have that grace when someone's in top 4 in finals, is that people are tired. Like it just happens. They're going to make mistakes.
You know what?
There's no grace in rumors.
Look, I'm the last person to tell that too, because when you go 13 rounds in one day and 2 championships, and not use that as an excuse, you can never. No one can ever tell me that. You don't ever tell me that excuse. So, to me, that's deaf ears when you're like give him leeway for being tired. I'm like, no, man. Go from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
That's raw. That's raw. That's raw, but not everybody is mentally built.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's hard for me personally to
that's fair.
That. So,
and I got one more question on this, just to kind of point out, like, you know, how things happen, mistakes happen, or, you know, like play happens, mistakes and play happen. You know, like, you know how you said what you did on your first turn, moving out Hawkeye, and trying to, you know, shoot. If you were playing a teammate, does that mean everybody says that you threw the game?
Oh yeah, that would be easy to say happen. But
so that stuff still happens even when, you know what I mean? Like if you can do it with like not against team, you know what I mean? Like it can happen either way.
Yeah, I think the only issue for me is like, let's just say I did have a teammate that ran whales and all other stuff like that. In practice, I would have had 2 teammates yell at me making that mistake before they even happened. So I would argue 9 times out of 10 that mistake wouldn't happen because I've gone through this in practice against the teammate running it. But and then definitely as early in the day that it happened. But the fact that, all right, the whole me arguing about the map crap and then the placements and all the other stuff, and then you just sort of like start script and you're like, oh, I didn't go first.
Right.
And he moves out and you're like, oh, I can get these guys, but not that guy. And it's like, oh, okay, well, yeah. So I sort of resolved the moment I moved Hawkeye out that I messed up. And the only thing that I could have done in that matchup was try to body block with the giant girl and the Wasp part of the Avengers Hawkeye.
Right.
And just be like, you can't quake through Colossals. So it's going to stop here. So, boom. All right. You're going to take out one of them. I have to hope and pray to God that you don't kill Hawkeye as I perplex up his defense to +3. And let's just see how this goes.
What'd you think of that team? It seemed like
Wales,
strong, right? Seems like pretty strong.
My only issue, if I look at it like this, the team is good. And if I would say, like, if I'm looking at the player, I say the player is good. The only reason I can't top rate him as a player is that he hasn't been known for anything else. So the moment he becomes known for another type of team and he plays that well, then I'm like, yo, man, this guy is a contender. But the problem comes in is as long as Wales has been promoted, it's on everybody's training schedule.
Has he won? Like a Super Q or anything with it, or no?
I think he's won a Rock Online, and I think he's probably won another tournament or something with
like States or anything. Wizkid's Open. I don't know.
I don't know.
He got a Wizkid's Open. I thought.
There's so many things. I have no idea, dude.
But yeah, I'm about half with you on how I feel on Wizkid's Opens. Like, if you have a good amount of people, I understand. Wizkid's Opens could be challenging. Other than that, a Wizkid's Open is a Wizkid's Open. Like it.
It's a storyline OP.
It's hard because, like I said, like I want to be like, yay, this is a big event.
It's not.
Sometimes they're not. They're inconsistent.
How many players does it take for Wizkid's Open to be a big event?
No, I don't think it needs to be that. Here's what it needs to be. It needs to be people traveling from a greater distance because there's only, let's say, the first year they did Wizkid's Open, there was only seven or whatever, right? So you had to go great distances to go. That's why a lot of these places were getting over 100 people. So you're pulling the best of the best from your region as opposed to the best of the best in your city. There's a big difference. That's why when we had the first San Diego one pulled in over 100 players, and they came from Fresno, they came from NorCal, they came for Vegas, Arizona, because San Diego was like the only place, and then NorCal. Those were the only 2 places that had a Wizkid's Open. So winning something there, and also the pricing was insane, right? It was a War of Light chase set. Oh god.
Yeah.
So when Dustin Hall won that, it was like a legit. Oh, and we had Alex Rosado, the best SEAL guy that I know from Colorado. He came down they came everywhere. So it needs to be something like that. Right. Not necessarily the amount, just that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But what are those events now?
In my opinion, I gotta be honest. Like we won't know. We won't know next year because everything's changing.
That's true. We need to see what the schedule looks like and whatnot.
Yeah, if I was to say what it was this year, if you were able to pull, and this sounds like a weird metric, 20 people or 3 teams. That's the best way I can say it. 20 people or 3 teams at that are represented at the event, then you actually have a competition.
I guess, yeah, maybe.
Because you got rid of all the chaff people.
I wouldn't. No, I mean it's got to be more than 20 people, right?
Well, no. How many events had 20? Like even 20? Not that many.
Right. But that's why I said I give the preference of 3 teams because you got rid of the chaff players.
That's the new. That would be the new standard because there's so many events. I think 20 is the new. Yeah, it's as weird as it sounds. 20 is probably the new standard.
It is. Like you're not. I hate to say it. You're not getting 50 people at an event anymore.
It's very rare.
And well, here's the actual interesting thing.
Challenge
I'm asking because this is what I was just telling Pat today. So I signed up for me and a couple of the guys in my local area to roll over to a Wizkid's Open in the middle, like Hesperia. No, I've never even been there. I mean, it's not. It's like 2 hours from me from LA. It's what It's not even that big of a store because he even told me it's not a big store. He's capping his limit at 32. I grabbed the last 6 spots. This is 4 or 5 days before the event, but he doesn't have open registration. You have to contact them to get them registered.
Oh my gosh!
And so the point,
you're a retreat, Chase. I want to hear stories about this fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre area.
Yeah, but my point being is, and the reason why I'm saying this is because of it's obviously what they're giving away that's getting these people. So I was leading what I wanted to lead.
Exospex.
Exospex.
On,
I thought it was something on top of Exospex.
No, everybody has to have it. Like it's what everybody's gonna have to have, right? For the meta, or just in general, or even if you see it at school.
I also think that's not good for the game.
No, it's terrible. So now this is actually what I want to lead into is how bad is this for the game? And Wizkid sees this, and this is probably going to be a huge boon to Wizkid's Opens. And they're looking at it and they go, "What was it? Oh, well, either that or they planned it already." But you have the spear and the Exospex and whatever else. I've seen some of this stuff.
Just those 2.
But everyone's talking about the Exospex. So is this what we're going to be getting now? Like mini resources and a 12-point equipable item.
Okay, all right. Real talk. I was talking to my friend this afternoon about this, and he was saying is, how many points does it take for Exospex to be balanced? How many more points do you add onto it? And I said, the issue with Exospex isn't that you need to add points onto it. The issue with Exospex is that it needs to happen at the beginning of the turn.
That's what I was saying too.
But. Yeah, that's what needs to happen. That needs to happen at the beginning of the turn. It needs to get watch listed to immediately be errated to be that. Because if I kid you not, at US Nats, we will see something so horrible in this game that it will be so ridiculous that they're going to be forced. And that sound like that one Muppet Cook dude. Forced to rat it. They're going to have to because I've talked
watch
about
list already.
It has to be because it goes something simple like it's so simple like this. Hey, I pick hypersonic. I sidestep with the character. Then I pick running shot, hypersonic speed, or charge. How much does that extend my reach? Or I have running shot. I running shot, pulse wave, running shot, energy explosion, whatever the heck I do. And then I pick stealth, and I'm in stealth. Oh, guess what? I have charge. I charge next to you. Now I pick plasticity. You're not going anywhere. Like there are too many. It's too many combos. It's like the freaking sloth relic. It's literally the sloth relic ruling problem all over again.
It's true.
And we have to go back into the world of you have to bring exactly these like certain power sets. Like you have to be able to ignore hindering. You have to, all that kind of stuff.
Looks like we need to play. Who's the guy? Is it Leo or Donnie? Who's the one that takes the
Leo? Leo.
So Leo sees an uptick now.
Okay. Yeah, like no, it's Space Leo sees uptick. The Chase Sheriff Strange sees an uptick.
Yeah, you're gonna see, and then who knows what else is coming out, right? Because it's gonna be a bunch of sets between now and Nets.
But even more so, Prodigy sees an uptick. Leech sees an uptick. Darwin sees an uptick. And so I said this when those figures came out. I said, look, these figures are coming out after we've resolved most of our pick a power figures. There has to be something stupid coming down the line in which Wizkid is definitively giving us silver bullets. And lo and behold,
it's the other way around.
Prophetic powers were true.
That is not how Wizkids does things. And you know that. Wizkids is always 6 months behind on everything they come out to combat the meta.
Here's what I'll say.
I don't think it's that way at all.
I give more credit to Kenny. If Kenny wasn't with Wizkids, I would be like high five through the internet, Chase. I agree with you. But I tell everybody this. My only reason I haven't dipped set from this game is Howard is on Rock and Kenny is with Wizkids.
But if Kenny had any input on that, how would he? I don't think Kenny would ever let that through. If they looked at him and said, "What do you think about this?" and he was like, "Oh wait, what? Like, really?"
Yeah. I mean, he did just start kind of recent, right? So maybe they had already had this.
I know that he had a little hand in Batman, but
yeah, I mean, I guess
there since when, March?
Well, it's already known, right? Because we were actually there when they remember when we hired him yesterday.
Yeah,
remember?
What was that, March?
Whenever Gamma was, it was
whenever Gamma.
So
okay. But yeah, I
might have been a tester, but he doesn't have the
everything. And all I'm saying is everything in the past that we've ever seen that has come out has always come out like two or three sets after. So something gets a huge uptick, like, oh my god, this is the new thing. Then you get what's up?
What was the last one that you can think of?
Goblin King. Goblin King was the last.
No, I mean where you're combating something from before.
Name it.
Okay, so we get Colossal Retaliation. They go wild, and then they're like, I guess here's Nick Fury, and it was kind of like, the Unseen, sorry. And we've had stuff in the past. We've had, so we had all the pick up power or all the stat boosting from the resources, and then they're like, okay, here's Nighthawk. And then they also go overboard on that too a lot of times. And then we have the pick up power, and they're like, here's Darwin. Everything has always been, or now we have Spiderling, and it's always been, now we have Sheriff Strange finally to combat. Everything has always been late.
No, but you know what though? But they're not going to know until they see what the meta is. That's how game design. I mean, you're really good, if you're like Wizards of the Coast and you're really good, and you have the resources to have the proper R&D, you can predict what the meta is going to look like, and then you can have the counters for it in the same set or with the same block. But they don't have a resource, so they have to see how it forms. And then they can come with something.
Yeah, that's part of that too. Is they said it takes 9 months from concept to delivery of a set.
Here's my sort of counter to this. They do stuff for money, like ID cards. Yeah, like everything that you built, you just said, produces lots of money.
Yeah.
ID cards per entry for people to collect them and get them makes you buy way more boosters, inflates the value. There's money. Okay, if you want to talk about Colossal Retaliation, you had to buy big boosters and lots of them. That's money. If you want to talk about entities and stat and freaking stat modifications from the lanterns and stuff, that's a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay, so
smart.
Functionally, there is no reason for them to directly nerf something they're trying to push immediately.
Yeah, immediately, exactly. Like it's you need to see it form first, because like I said, like I've been saying,
I think both of them make sense.
In theory, they might say we're going to see this, but until they actually see it in practice, it's all in their head. So they need to see it, and at that point they can do something about it.
But okay, like going back to Exospex, The main reason I believe Exospex existed is that they needed to do a couple of key things. They needed to eradicate resources from the meta, minus freaking nobody plays Punisher Van, so you might as well just say it's gone. You introduce...
Oh, that was rude.
Yeah, no one plays Punisher Van.
Oh, man.
But...
I'm going to wear my Punisher shirt tomorrow.
Dude, I didn't say Punisher was a bad guy. I said nobody plays Punisher Van.
Okay. I've been trying to do something with that. It's just
I've been trying to do something with Punisher Van since it came out, and I failed multiple times. It's been 2 years of frustration.
I know.
You know, but okay. So here's the thing: they put an emphasis on objects. The Mighty Thor was the hugest emphasis on objects, and they're like, we want you to focus on objects for a bit. And because they made the ruling that objects and resources can work together, which is something I said that needed to happen for years, because there was no reason to have objects introduced to the game if they're mutually exclusive to resources, because resources always win for the point cost. Okay, so now you're seeing what the player base is doing. Oh, wow. We've made the game stagnant, even though we have 20 weapons, only 6 are being used. And I'm being very generous when I say only 6 are really being used. And I mean, functionally, you can name them. You see Symbiote, Mjolnir, Thunderstrike sometimes. What else?
Keep going. Keep going.
Oh, no, I just saw Loki's staff.
Keep going.
What? I said Thunderstrike and then Stormbreaker.
Thank you.
Sorry. George did play Stormbreaker.
You said yourself.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, good.
I like some Stormbreaker. Okay, so Stormbreaker, and then if someone's feeling really... Yeah, Mirror. Yeah, so there's 6. And if someone's feeling Froggy, Enchanted Crowbar... Yeah, but nobody's playing that, okay, except me in my dreams. So they're your 6 objects that you mostly see across the board all the time. And so they said, like, oh, wow, they're mainly liking these things. Well, that's not that much diversity, and we don't have a DC set that's going to do the same thing. So, boop, here's this.
Not yet.
Here's this new object, and they try to do the Joker canister, and that didn't go over well. They try to do Harley's hammer. That didn't go over well. Okay. So,
well, a lot of it too, though, is they haven't introduced something that's going to allow you to get the objects, kind of like as a free action, like what's his name?
Split lip, god damn it.
No, we do not need another.
But they need to have like a higher point piece,
that
does something like that, and then you're going to see a team with more objects, where the piece is okay, but that power is really good, and where objects are a thing, because it kills your tempo to start with. There's so many teams I'm like, oh, this would be so good on this, and then I look at it and I'm like, then I'm screwed on tempo.
Well, you're screwed on tempo, and there's some that have to accept the being screwed on tempo, or else they die. Like any temp pole, if you don't get the symbiote, you just have to accept. Yeah. Like that's the case. Like, are they on top of me turn 1 and I do not, and I go second? Yeah, I still need this symbiote, or else I die. Yeah. So there's that, but when I look at Sheriff Strange, I can clearly say this piece is designed for competitive to kill objects. And this is my problem. Also, the moment Wizkid says, hey guys, we sort of made a silver bullet for you. So this gives us free reign to do whatever the hell we want now. And that's what I'm afraid of. Like, they released Sheriff Strange knowing Exospex was going to drop. And then I don't know what other 3 to 5 things that they're going to...
That makes sense.
It's going to be just as stupid.
It does make sense. So, like, if Exospex is that strong... the thing is, like, there needs to be more variety of answers, because if it's just Sheriff Strange, it really narrows your answer.
Sheriff Strange, Space Leo, there's a Catwoman, I was told, that's still stuff. And that's
there's the Cap. There's the Captain America, the Connolly.
Oh, the Earth X.
Yeah, Cap. Yeah. He's still good. So, like, there is stuff.
He might see more play now. Yeah, he's actually
still got a hit.
Points. He's good.
Yeah, he is good.
Time to hoard those.
But here's the bigger issue that it comes down to: who's going to be the first to take the risk to put that into a highly competitive design? And that's the problem.
Phoenix Nest can do it. You guys have a lot of builders.
You guys got 15 people to...
Yeah, someone can build something.
Challenge. Just say challenge accepted.
Come on. Hey, that's what that should be.
I'll have to borrow Sheriff Strange from KJ. But yeah, like
what does Sheriff Strange do with objects?
You play 100 points. If he hits you, it's unequipped and it's scored.
With a pen blast, it's pen blast and it's prob with 4 damage.
Oh, that's right. And now you have Exospex to help get that running shot off.
Like when the guys were testing last night, the guy was playing with Sheriff Strange and he just couldn't get. I'm like, dude, don't you wish you had Exospex so you can have running shot? And he's like, oh my god, you're right.
But see, that's my problem. Sheriff Strange says, "Hey, dog, I heard you like Exospex, but guess what? I'm gonna jack you for that sucker. Now I get to have Exospex. You don't get to have Exospex. But even worse,
don't worry, everyone will have one because it's a chase too.
Yeah, but it gets worse. Like everybody that's reliant on symbiote, better pray you don't roll less than a 5.
Yeah.
Because if Sheriff Strange comes to tap you, that's it. You've lost it, and you've lost your main defensive edge. That's why I think like tent poles have this small window for worlds, and after that they're done. Like Goblin King retires, he'll retire the next go around. Unimind will still be around,
hey man,
but if
feeling left out,
Jakeem's done. I played Jakeem at US Nats. Jakeem's done.
Disrespect for guys.
Yeah, like even somebody was saying like, well, you run Jakeem with Exospex, and it's like it still doesn't stop the problem that you're going to have to pick willpower. And that turn that you have to pick willpower is the turn that your opponent lights you up. And you can't pick shape change anymore in a defense power. That they need to undo that nerf if they want to see people play Jakeem again.
I know, right? They go overboard with the oh, he's too strong. They just go way over. He's just completely done now.
No, he would have been fine. I would have understood it.
That's what I mean. They go way overboard with their nerf.
Well, no. I'll say this. If you had Outwit the way it was, I understand it. But with new Outwit, no, you don't. You don't need to go that far.
Yeah, for sure.
And he has no power. He has no way to stop that. So yeah, I definitely.
And he has no damage reduction except toughness. Ooh, toughness is scary.
I am in the field too. That it's almost like if you are trying to play that tempo, anything over 200 points, or even almost like 180, it's got to be some form of pick of power.
Yeah,
right. You got to be able to be adaptable. Like there's just no way, or at least pick certain powers that give you a chance in different matchups.
It's either that. I usually have a viewpoint of this. If you're going to run a tip pole, it either needs to have an insane defense, which is like a ton of clicks of health, like a colossal level clicks of health, or it needs to give you a stat mod, a pick a power, or a heavy control. Like, if you don't like Ares, like if you don't attack this turn, you take 1 damage.
Oh man. That's what they need to. They need to bring that shit back, man.
That one, like I had a guy locally. He would always play Ares and Lightspeed, and the first 3 tournaments he played it, he just dominated. And then after that, I just realized I'm like, you know what? Every single game am going to have like 6 guys, so I can just kill your Ares every single game.
You know what? If they you know how they want to promote a lot of combat? A power like how Ares had it, if you guys don't know what he does. It's
like you must fight.
So
you
Ares,
must fight, yeah.
Yeah, if I think people within 4 squares or something, if they didn't, at the end of the turn, if they didn't attack, they take like a penetrating or unavoidable.
Yeah.
And he's a quintessence, so it's because everybody must fight. It's the coolest power, and it stops people from freaking running.
Right.
I like that power. It has to be on a really high point figure, but I like that better.
He's like 270 or whatever.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's got a deep dial. He's got like steel energy, and he goes into flurry. He's really cool. He's really good. I like that back in the day. DC 75.
Yeah.
So they definitely need to bring something similar, some kind of effect like that where people have to fight. That's kind of cool. I like that.
I like Grandmaster from the movie set, and I make you
punch each other.
Yeah, I run a pog up, and then I have Grandmaster punch the pog. I mean, sorry, have the opponent punch the pog, and then I Colossal Retaliate on them in that same turn, and I laugh.
Yeah,
I brought that to a tournament. I brought that to Tulsa. I lost. I went like 1-2 or something, 1-3 or something like that. But everybody loved it.
It's a tough thing because isn't it a power action to do, or is it a free?
I think it's a power action or something like
that.
If
it was free, I think he'd be better. Because as it stands now, it's really hard to get that because he needs to see both people.
He needs to see both people.
Yeah, so
and you can't block Colossal. You can't make him a Colossal.
It's so easy to block line too. You just put a guy in front and now he can't do his thing.
Yeah, but it was so fun.
Yeah, it's fun when you can do it, right? Of course.
So fun.
So obviously you target someone that that's really funny. One of the cool things that we were trying to do before, when it came out, was to do with the World Breaker Hulk. It's hard to do, but if you get it off, he gets rolling.
Yeah. The only problem is that your opponent has to hit.
Yeah, he's only at 17 in the first click, so it's easy to hit him. Easy-ish.
Yeah, and you get your tokens and all other stuff. I didn't think about that in World Breaker. You give me an idea for Friday.
It's fun. Yeah.
My locals are gonna be like, "What? You had a World Breaker Hulk?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And guess what? Here's Grandmaster.
And you have to give him the Blood Axe so that he can heal when he does his Colossal Stamina.
Okay, my two favorite weapons from Thor were Enchanted Crowbar and Blood Axe, and I thought, look, somebody is going to wake up to how good these are, and nobody ever did.
Still dreaming.
Yeah, and the main reason I thought somebody would wake up to how good these are, especially Enchanted Crowbars, because it can work with a ranged attack. So it's like I have Psychic Blast, you have Invincible. I hit you with an Enchanted Crowbar. Guess what? I'm going to do straight my damage.
Yeah.
But nobody saw what I saw. And
how come you didn't play it then?
I haven't had any builds that I really.
Well, no. Okay, like everyone else, then.
Real talk. What
about your Hawkeye?
Crowbar, I haven't had any builds that I even could use it with because everything I focused on other stuff. But the worst part of it is that the time I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get it. I bought Mjolnir from Symbio. And I was like, oh.
You're the one that snaked it, you bastard. I was trying to get that. He's like, oh, it's gone. Oh, shit.
Yeah, so it's in good hands. Sort of broke going around.
Oh, my God. What the hell? Why are you saying that? You're making it worse.
Yeah, but it lasted a good long time in the Tupperware, so that makes you feel better. Hey, my Stormbreaker is still in one piece, so
good.
That and Thunderstrike.
You need to put that on Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And then go to town.
Now we have the spear.
Boom, 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 boom. But you get 10 range.
Yeah, the spear in Hawkeye, I feel, is going to, for that brief period of time,
for sure,
it's going to be crazy. But again, it's going to go away at US Nats. And it's like, oh, well, all right, well, that's gone, And I'm sort of glad, Hawkeye retires this year, because we all know Hawkeye is BS. We just do. Yeah. I mean,
you're the only guy that really plays it.
No, I actually played against one other person that was playing Hawkeye at the Cup.
Was he your teammate?
No, he was from Juggernaut. So.
Lucas?
No, from Juggernaut. No, 3. So that's 3. Lucas and I were playing the same thing.
Okay, see, there you go.
And then the guy from Juggernaut is 3.
Steven Sendejas?
I don't know.
With Iron Man?
No, not with Iron Man. He had Giant Girl. And
it was Iron Man at 165, Hawkeye, and then Giant Girl.
No, this is a different guy. So there's 4 then.
4, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's like rabbit.
Right here, Hawkeye's a thing.
Hawkeye is a thing.
No, yeah, he's legit. I just want to see the energy explosion thing, but
I do, but you have Tank, and that's the only thing that discourages you is Tank.
Yeah. Wait, why?
It's just cheaper. That's
Oh, you mean not to okay.
Now, I mean, if you want to think about it, it's like it's cheaper up front, but it's way more points and liability. But like from a tempo perspective, you are giving up some early tempo to get Hawkeye
equipped,
Stormbreaker, but
loaded up.
Yeah, but in like let's just say you don't get map and you get put on like standard starting area, that 2 range is enough to make up a lot of difference.
Exactly. Yeah, that 2 range, man. It gets you. Yeah, it gets you basically. You hit like 1 time and you're in the starting zone already, right?
10. Yeah, it makes you a 10. You have to hit 1 time and then you're on the other side of the map.
That's insane, dude. Here's my 20 range.
It's full, like Hawkeye on any decent build is full map as long as it's open enough. As long as he can make a path, he's full map.
That's why he absolutely. Remember, Case, I was telling you, if you're not playing an Avengers theme, it's not that good. Because if they put you on an indoor map, he can't do shit.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're Steve.
Nope, my game
open
on stream. Nope, my game on stream of what happened. But
oh yeah, exactly. The Undergrounds was rough.
Yeah, I think the other thing that makes Hawkeye not as good right now is with Starro floating around. If you go against Cosmic Starro, you have to play him different, and most people aren't going to flip the script on that. And I think that's the biggest problem with Hawkeye now going into Worlds is, and I'm going to say this: Hawkeye is still good. He's not as good, and you need to have a plan for Starro. Like once you establish my plan for Starro is this with my Avengers build, then yeah, Hawkeye comes back and he fixes it. But he's not like, hey, I delete everything. Hawkeye is I set up these scenarios, and that's mainly it. You can at best, if you get lucky, you can kill Star Fox. But that's if you get lucky. Like there's too many things the Star Fox players have to do. And then what Dan and a few other folks were doing, they were separating out Star Fox so you can't tank him. So it's like, oh well.
Oh, he was leaving him by himself?
Mm-hmm. Out like way out in the open. So like you can't knock him into a wall or anything. It's like, well,
he could just die though if he's out in the open.
Well, yeah, and that's sort of the comeback is, and I was actually play testing this tonight, where it was a little bit before my nap, but it goes like this: if Hawkeye runs out and he has 1 perplex on damage and enhancement from Eric Masterson, he can knock Star Fox to his stop click. If of course Star Fox doesn't roll a 6. That's pretty much what it's all comes down
to. They wreck my precision strike, damn it.
Yeah. So once that happens, if Star Fox doesn't roll a 6 and he's on his stop click, yeah, that's pretty much it. Because if he can't afford, if he goes second, to pick up Mjolnir.
Right.
So he can't flurry you from downtown. And if he does pick up Mjolnir, he's going to get tanked. So you're like the liability of Star Fox is a lot higher than what people think on that Cosmic Starro team. So anyway, so like after you Hawkeye him, depending on how far up he is, it comes down to, are you going to save a perplex for Star Fox? And if Star Fox can see him, it's a 12 on a 17. He's dead.
Right.
I mean, that's it. Like, as long as you know how it's going to be set up and you're okay with it, it's either, 12 on a 17 because your first shot is going to be either 11 on a 20. Yeah, 11 on a 20, or it's going to be a 13 on a 20. And then hopefully Star Fox is within 9. The 2 Star Foxes are within 9, so you can use your cap perplex on range. But if it's more than that, then it's going to be a 12 on a 20, and that's when it becomes a lot harder. But yeah, like functionally, it's not bad. But I think like, I don't know if y'all want to talk about Starro for Worlds. I think a lot of people are going to clone Dan. They're going to clone Dan, or they're going to try to play an anti-Starro build.
I think you have to.
Wait, but what about do you not think Battle World is going to be in at all? Because there's a lot of stuff in here, I think.
There are.
Look at.
There are, off the top of my head,
Sheriff Strange that's a big one.
Yeah, there are 3 things that I feel are going to show up possibly at Worlds. Okay, the problem is that they haven't had time to be tested vigorously.
Well,
that's
there's a month. There's a month from now. That's a lot.
No, I mean, yes, there is a month, but like, you have a handful of constructed WKOs.
Right.
Is one thing I don't like.
Yeah, I'm just talking about. Well, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but from you guys' team perspective, you guys have to be looking at.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can run your own WKO. Anyway. Fucking
like, you can just magically do your own tournament. You got enough guys.
35.
Is that how that
everybody
works?
Down, mandatory team meeting. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Today we're going to do a WKO. We are like, it's just.
Well, this should be really good with the way the rock's changing. You guys just do a win a map every month.
Yeah. No, not all. You know how much barbecue I have to buy for everybody to get them to come to Kansas City to do a winner map? No, that ain't happening.
What is okay? You said Sheriff Strange. Okay, what's
Sheriff Strange? Odin, Thanos Prime.
Ooh, okay. Odin, Thanos Prime, Sheriff
Strange. Sheriff Strange is going to be played at 50, which I think up front for right now is okay. After Worlds, you got to be playing him at 100 because Exospex is going to be too much of a problem. Odin, because you can set up a 1-turn kill on Starro.
You can also do that too on Star Fox as well.
Yeah, you could guarantee 1-turn kill Star Fox.
Yeah.
And also take out Groot, because you get up with Overdrive or whatever, get your free shot KO. Yeah, you could just like KO Groot like just right then and there, like it gets silly. And then you set up your Doc Ock. You get
what do you know?
I just played this against Pat on Sunday.
I feel like you were here.
No, yeah,
you just said Odin and Doc Ock, and I was like,
you set up your Doc Ock flurry and Doc Ock, and you just, if you can like Jimmy Rig scoot Odin just to be adjacent out to Starro, outwit defense, flurry him down. And that's pretty much all she wrote. Like, he won't get a stop click, and you can't use support with Lockjaw because he's based. So that's why I think Odin potentially could wreck is that he just runs up on all these tent poles and says, "All right, Unimind, you're outwittable. I have an outwit. Screw that. You're not doing that." And then I punk you. And if you're within TK range, I bust an ID card out, call Marvel Girl, TK out, then I charge and I punk you. Like, that's functionally what he does. But for Thanos Prime, my main concern with Thanos Prime is he comes in at a point value that's high. He doesn't have stop clicks, but he has 175. 25. But the issue with Thanos Prime is he can pick any generic keyword he wants, and that opens him up to all the colors of the rainbow. Like, freaking take me down the yellow brick road, okay? Don't call me Dorothy, though. I'm more of a Tin Man. But anyway.
Cowardly Lion, come on.
No, the Tin Man, the brain.
Yeah.
But anyway, my puns aside, no, Scarecrow, my bad. I need anyway. I messed up my own metaphor. They'd be like, "Do you really live next to Kansas, Dark Logos? Are you really from?" Yeah. But anyway, sort of going back is the fact that you can run. And we were joking about this last night. It's like, pick a Colossal Retaliator, any Colossal Retaliator that you want, and now you can play multiples of those, and then be a +X theme team with Thanos. Do you want to do a monster theme? Guess what? You have 6 Carnages plus whoever else you want. You also have Goblin King at 75 points if you want to run that. So you run Goblin King at 75 points, 3 Carnages and some IDs. Bam, you're a +5 theme team. And that's not even the best monster theme team you can make. But how scary is that now you have Thanos Prime with the pick of power. So you got TK Improv plus 3 Colossal Retaliators. Like, that's serious. And I mean, again, you can go martial artist if you want to. You can go mystical. You can go scientist. You can go celebrity. You can go all sorts of stuff. And you just find, like, yes, oh, you have all these little dudes. Like, just do a search of 50 points or less, and then look at like all the cool stuff, and you just click it off in realms and put it to the side. And you're like, oh, what keywords do they have? Oh, all right, you have soldier. Okay, great. And now I'm gonna just spam freaking 8 little cheap soldier guys, and I'm plus whatever theme. Like, that's the problem. And I really wish characters that were less than 25 points did not have keywords because of things like Thanos Prime. Because you can just spam crap tons of little dudes and get +5, +6, +7 theme and not worry about it. And oh yeah, I have a Shredder's team. Nope, screw you, Shredders. I have Thanos Prime in the crew, and I'm +7 to map roll. Screw you, X-Men. Screw you, Avengers. Screw you, Cosmic. I have it.
Is that a bad thing then?
Yes.
With it being on one figure that I don't think I would run into tournament if it wasn't for that.
No. Pick a keyword is dumb.
I kind of like it.
No, like pick a power is stupid.
All right, if he wins Nats, then we'll talk.
Well, no. Well, and here's why I say pick a keyword is dumb. For all you have to do is wait for that character that says, I do blank for everybody with my keyword. And he'll have like 3 keywords, 2 which will be non-generic and 1 will be generic. And if it's cheap enough and OP enough, guess what? Thanos Prime found his new best friend. And then boom, that will be a thing.
But Dark Logos, you don't even have to worry about that. Wizkids will never do anything like that.
And you say that with a straight face.
I did pretty good there. I was pretty proud of myself.
But yeah, like they're fine. Like, be on the lookout. Like, we made a team the other night. I'm not going to tattle on my boy, but it was stupid.
Guy again.
It's plus. I think we made like a +8 theme team using.
Do we need to have a disclaimer about that, Pat?
What?
Yeah.
What happened?
For the.
What happened?
If you're gonna do like I want to tell you a secret, but I can't tell you. Like,
okay,
you can't do that. You have to tell.
all I have to say is this.
A lot of Floras, I get it.
No, there's things worse than Floras that you can play that'll scare people. They're like, just look through everything that's like 10 points. Just look through everything that's 10 points and all the generic keywords that are there, and you're just like, I didn't know that was going to be a keyword that was going to come back.
So what are you going to do with all that? What are you going to do with all those keywords? For what? Is there something you're going to do with it? Is there something that happens if he, other than map, because you don't get Fame Team Prob, what is it that you're using it for? Map?
You're getting it for map, and I think that's number 1. I think number 2 is you're getting it for whatever little utilities that you have. Like I said, if somebody says like, hey, I do this if you share a keyword with me, or like cheap leaderships, I think that's another thing that can be abused. So
that's a legit one. The leadership is legit.
So I'm looking at Amanda Waller. I don't know all her keywords off the top of my head. But let's just say she has freaking politician. Okay. Politician's a crappy example, but still, you're now able to say, and let's just say, let's take a step forward and say, all right, I'm not making a theme team, a pure theme team. I'm just making a team. And you say, hey, I need a cheap leadership. I'm going to pick during force construction that I'm going to be a politician. I'm going to play 2 Amanda Wallers or 2 Moira McTaggarts or whatever the hell.
Right.
And their main job is just to roll leadership and take tokens off me.
Is Moira a politician?
No, Moira is a scientist. I just picked scientist keyword.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Jesus.
Yeah.
Right, well,
And you get an ID card. Oh, the combos.
Yeah. So, like I said, is you find that one keyword in which he's the most abusive, and then he just surrounds himself with that little posse. And even if you said, like, okay, I don't want to make a full theme team on this, you don't have to. You just need to pick the keyword with the figure that's going to help you the most, and then the rest of it's filler, and then it'll watch it be
I
annoying.
just feel like that's every team, though. Like, you're telling me how you build every team. That's how every competitive team is built, though. It's, I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to put this with it to abuse it. And I just don't see anything on Thanos Prime myself right now that really makes me like. I'm sure somebody will break it open, but look at everything else that's broke open too.
But you don't get all the things, Chase. That's the thing. Like when you before you can say, hey, I get all of the things in this category. Like you can say, like, I get all the chocolates, but you can't get all the ice cream and all the candies. Okay, I get to have all the things, okay? And that's not right. That's never right, where I can get all the things. At some point in time, like, theme teams should force me to make a decision. It's like, yeah, I get all of, the chocolate covered nuts. That's all I get. Or I get all
but he's
of
170 points. He already uses up over half your build.
He does, but and I would say this.
Yeah, like, what are you putting on there? 175?
If this was any other point in time during this game, I would be like, yeah, you're right. But Wizkid for the last 2 years decided that, 50 points and under is prime real estate. What the hell is that?
This is what Pat does all day when he gets bored. You gotta think he's got thousands of figures. There's thousands of figures around him. He's like, oh.
I know.
But yeah, like I said, like just think about this. Like, you have Scientist and you have Giant Man, or better yet, Wolverine and Brute. I think those Wolverines have Brute, right? Keyword.
Something like that.
I'm going off the top of my head.
Pat's got him right in front of him.
I got it right here. He is a Weapon X, sir.
No generics?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Most times it's a Brute or a Warrior.
Well, Stephen Thanos is fine. He can't be played with Wolverine.
He can't be played with Wolverines. he's not as bad. But, like, you go and you just find somebody that is okay, but there's just a ton of, like, little 10, 15-point dudes that are just annoying as all get out. What the
let's do this. I know it's late. I know it's late for you. I know, Pat's probably got something to do. And I still got to put this episode up. So why don't we end it here, and then you tell us about this little tech you got on the side, and I'll hit stop recording.
Yeah, I know, but I can see what you.
I know. I'll hit stop recording. Pat, I'm not gonna stop recording.
He can still see it on the corner.
So the team is Thanos Prime.
All right. Well, let's get this. We'll get this wrapped up. So I do want to say really quick, if you want to check out the article that Dan wrote that we were talking about earlier, that is on the Apex Insiders. You can check that out at majestixccg.com. You can also check out all those figures that Pat's holding up left and right on his eBay account for Majestix. So, and everything else that you see in the background. For the right amount of money, he might even sell you one of those rock plaques. Plaques. I'm not really sure.
They're gonna be going the way of the dinosaur. So
yeah. So, other than that, dude, Edward, thank you so much for coming on.
Awesome. Hey, we finally made it, right? Because we don't make it until you get on here, right?
Yeah, I guess I have. Like I'm in the upper echelon.
No. We have made it because we have you on.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You're fully established as podcasters now.
Yeah.
Chase already got his badge. Already was on his show.
Clicks.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think you're the only person that's probably hoarded around more different like shows or media things than I have, like trying to make things or whatever.
The worst part is that I still never get a increase in my subs. They're like, "Oh, you were there. I saw you on that show." And
you gotta have a video. You gotta have a video. Changes things.
Yeah, my camera broke, so I need folks to
use
donate.
some of the rock money for it. Done.
Oh yeah, that is coming. I might do that.
What did you get? Wait, what did you get?
For those
Top
little
8?
Logitech cameras.
Did you top
16.
Top 16? How much?
Top 16. It really came down to, if I remember that, this is really the play that screwed me. So Jalen, I popped Unimine. He attacks me with Cyclops, hurts one of my guys. I Colossal Retaliate. Sorry, I title Colossal Retaliate with Wasp part of the Avengers, KO the Cyclops, and then I was trying to set up for an attack with whatchamacallit, Star Fox, and I should just let it go, and I didn't. Oh no, sorry, it wasn't an attack with Cyclops. It was an attack with one of the Unimine pop-offs. So I KO'd one of the Unimine pop-offs, and I saved my perplex from saved my prob, and I flurried with freaking Star Fox against Lockjaw, thinking if I got lucky I could knock him back. And then that doesn't work because Star Fox Lockjaw just removes tokens. So I functionally just screwed, and because my Lockjaw, my Star Fox was on his last click. So I couldn't steal energy or anything off of that. So it was a complete waste. So because I had used the theme prob, I had 2 tokens, and I hadn't made an attack that turn, I could have just Colossal pushed and killed the other Eternal, and I would have won.
How much was it?
The other Eternal was 150. It was Makari.
No, I'm sorry. Now, how much for getting top 8 or top 16?
I don't know.
Oh.
It's money.
I don't know.
Is half of it's
That's a new camera right there. You gotta know how nice of a camera you're getting.
Man. It might be $50 by the time it gets to me, but
you write that off. You can write that off. You easily write that off because of your trip. So it's fine.
I don't know, because winnings are taxed differently. Like I write enough stuff off, but winnings are taxed differently. But we'll talk about tax money off air, because I don't.
No. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. And Pat, you want to?
Oh yeah, Edward. Yeah, thanks for coming on again. As usual, it's always fun to talk a little bit history, talk about clicks. And next time, when you're in doubt, perplex the attack.